Do you see it? Do you hear it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? There's a change in the air, and everyone in corporate media kind of realizes it, okay? Because people aren't buying their shite anymore. Now, we all know what happened to Tucker Carlson when he got kicked off of Fox News. And let's face it, he had a very popular show, and he took his millions upon millions of followers to X, to where he has one of the most powerful platforms and shows available right now. And he's been doing a lot of hard-hitting interviews. And while I have my disagreements with Tucker Carlson here and there, I do agree with, hey, listen, you got to break away from the corporate media mindset, the model. And in this day and age, everybody's trying to come onto our territory now because they think they could do a click, copy, paste, repeat of what Tucker did. From Medea Hassan to Don Lemon. And yes, I recently heard that Don Lemon was kicked off of X, apparently. But, whatever. Okay. Because they're all thinking the next thing. But apparently Fredo! He got that Mo Green special. Mo Green took him aside, slapped him around because apparently he had a nice conversation, a sit down, an old school Italian sit down with Tucker Carlson. And he's telling everybody now that we all got to talk to each other, that we all got to speak to each other. And I recently saw him on the PBD podcast where, it was interesting to see him talking to people. Obviously, he senses a change in the environment, right? But he's saying that we got to talk to each other. So remember all that stuff during the Trump era where, oh my goodness, if you're speaking to Trump, you're a bad person. You're speaking to Tucker, you're a bad person. You speak to anyone that's different, third parties, independents, you're a bad person. But Cuomo's seen the light, or he's seen the green light of the money. That's where it's at, right? Because you don't want to, because people are no longer buying into the corporate media BS. So shout out to Alan Myron. I'm glad that you found this. Look, Cuomo making sense. Alan, we know he's not making sense, but it's all good, man. And all it took was talking with Tucker. So here we go. So Cuomo, enlighten us, buddy. Conversation is secure. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe in Cuomo. All right. Okay. I do. I hope. I hope.
Boy, do they hate it when we talk to each other. Who? The establishment. Now, the easy criticism to handle is that I'm enabling the distribution.
Hey, sir, isn't your family involved in the political establishment, sir? Isn't that kind of how you got the job in the first place? Huh? I wonder. Huh? Hold on. Gee, I wonder. How'd you get onto ABC and CNN and News Nation? I wonder indeed. But boy, he hates. He starts off. Hold on, we're gonna rewind that again. Because that was just pure gold.
Boy, do they hate it when we talk to each other. Who? The establishment. Now, the easy criticism to handle is that I'm enabling the distribution of lies and bad ideas by having Tucker Carlson on. Here's the problem with that idea. Carlson has a bigger platform than anyone who is telling me to not have him on. Okay? That man and his crazy cackle.
Hey, you leave that cackle alone. That's great stuff right there, Chris. Come on.
Is bigger than most major outlets. So the idea that you can censor your way into some kind of selection of arguments that you like or don't like is over. And simply demonizing what you disagree with is not making it better. It's only making it worse. For all of these rules about who can be on and who can, and how you fact check and how you don't, and what the truth is and what it isn't, why is everything getting...
Now, Don's Purple writes on Rumble, Bumble in the Jungle, says, Cuomo lost his credit when he reported on his brother while didn't disclose he was on his brother's crisis team. Very true. You thought we forgot that in 2020, eh? Because we didn't. None of us did. Everyone forgets he was part of that crisis team. but it's okay. Look, and also on the other hand too, remember, sowing dissent is what corporate media does best. I mean, Cuomo, you're telling the establishment to drop their bread and butter.
Worse. I'll tell you why. Because Carlson is not unique, except maybe for that cuckoo cackle. But as for his ideas, he has an audience because millions feel the same way. This is the same mistake that many in the media made with Trump. And when I was talking,
hey folks, bad cookies, right? It's Fredo pretending he isn't part of the machine. You think Mo Green needs to take Fredo in the back and smack him around a little bit? Type 1 for Ket, you awful man. How dare you use the Mo Green reference? You're a horrible man, and you're going to hell. Type 1 if you believe that. Type 2, yeah, he needs that Mo Green special. He needs to slap him around. We're running a business here. You know, I can't have him banging 5, 6 cocktail waitresses at a time. Come on.
talking to Trump early on, I was getting the same criticism. Why? Because many would rather silence what they don't agree with. And I think that drives the division. And they talk about building bridges, but they don't want to let it happen. Not here, not at News Nation. That's why I say let's get after it all the time. Not to have a catchphrase.
Hey, let's get after it. That's your catchphrase? I got a couple catchphrases. What is going on? The king is nuts. Start your morning right and righteously angry with Hard Lens Media. There you go, you know. As you should. Hey, you got to have many catchphrases. You got to have all these good things. Like lightning in a bottle, baby. Let's get at it. Let's get at it. Hey, everybody, this is Hard Lens Media. Let's get at it, baby. Cuomo style.
But because we have to deal with one another, we got to confront our problems in life. We see what the alternative is getting us. And I know you get it. Thank God, because I didn't know how it was going to go. Many, many, many more of you said you want more conversation like that, not less. You gave me and Carlson some of our biggest audiences to date because you saw not a food fight, not me picking him up and throwing him around his own house, but because you saw what I hoped you would see. That while there is disagreement, deep disagreement on who is to blame, what the solutions are, what really happened, who's right to do the job.
You know, it is something very important. Wait, we can't have free speech, Chrissy? Oh man, so some of these pundits in corporate media, you gotta love them a little bit. Sometimes I think they forget what they say, or either that they don't pay attention to their little scripts.
For all that, there are common concerns, and that's all we need. That's all we need to get to a better place, and that's what we always had until like the last 10 years or so, because that's what the game has denied us as it has become more and more toxic. The uniting idea in this country has always been that what joins right and left, right and wrong, Republican and Democrat, is a set of common concerns that we
Hey, what about independence, buddy? What about us? Don't we count? Huh?
all agree the establishment, the people in power, need to fix. The ugly truth is too many in the establishment prefer to keep us divided.
Aren't you part of it, though? Fredo, give away that secret sauce. After all, your dear old pops and brother were both governor of the state of New York. You know? People tend to forget that they're lovely. I mean, are you trying to people like, wonder like, hey, yo, Cuomo, how'd you get those fancy news gigs?
So they don't have to do what is hard, fix the problems. You see, the silos, the tribes, the parties, the networks, they keep us apart. It has all enabled the divide and conquer mentality, subverting your interests for their own retention of power and share of audience.
I love my audience. See, my audience gets it, Chrissy. My audience gets it. Pulling out my inner Polly Walnuts with his hands. Hey, Chrissy. You know, free speech should be reserved for the professionals. Chrissy Cuomo. Remember that? I do. I remember him saying that. My audience is on point. Audience is on point today.
That's why they spend more time investigating each other than investigating solutions, to distract from your interests in favor of their own. But, if we get back to what people in the media hate, both sidesing, both sides, Cuomo, one of my buddies, former buddies at CNN.
Both sides, Cuomo. That's not your. Both sides, Cuomo. What? Hold on, buddy.
To distract from your interests in favor of their own. But, if we get back to what people in the media hate, both sidesing, both sides, Cuomo, one of my buddies, former buddies at CNN, used to call me, and I'd be like, is that an insult? Yeah, because both sidesing means that you're giving false equivalency. You're putting these two things on the.
That's probably not why they called you both sides, Cuomo. Evil laugh, because it's funny. Both. Did you give yourself that nickname? Because you got to get it. A nickname is earned. All right, it's given. You just can't give yourself a nickname. You just you can't do what George Costanza said. Like, I'm gonna call myself T-Bone. Can't get both sides, Cuomo. That's not even a good nickname, man.
The same level. No, you're not. No, you're not. What you're doing, on the contrary, is actually creating a competition of ideas. And no matter the split, by giving both sides, by having a conversation, at a minimum, you will get back to a set of common concerns, because we know what they are. We know what you talk about at home. Insurance rates.
Bruce Carter. Coco Cuomo. Oh, I love that, man. Bruce Carter, you're the winner today.
Fentanyl, border security, college costs, alternatives to college like the trades, corporate control of our government, term limits, right? Who disagrees? So why isn't it happening? Because we're too busy blaming each other for the problems, as motivated by the establishment, because they like it that way. It's easier for them. The problems work better. Talking about each other has to be replaced by conversations with both sides, talking to each other. It will reveal our common concerns. I know it. You saw it. You want it. So let's get after it.
Let's get after it, baby. Cuomo, you know what? I hope you're being authentic, but I know better, because everyone in my live stream chat is saying, ain't you part of the establishment system? Or maybe I'm wrong. I'll have you guys decide. Type 3 for Kit. You awful man. You got to give him a chance. You awful man. How dare you on your platform? Give Cuomo a chance. Maybe he's being authentic. Type 3 if that's how you feel. Type 4, nah, man. None of this is authentic. Fredo just sees where things are going, and Mo Green, and he doesn't want to get slapped around by Mo Green. And Mo Green's special. Type 4. Who knows? I'll let you decide. Let's get at it. Real quick, we're going to take a little, still a little twisty twist here, but shout out to Roger Meadows, who posted this. And it just shows just how bad corporate media has influenced a lot of people. But here, would you date someone who has a different political party affiliation from you? Sometimes that's the best fun right there. You get to have a little angry sex, you know? Oh, yeah.
Political differences, it's not a deal breaker. No, it's not a deal breaker.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
So in 2008 and 2012, you voted for
Barack Obama.
2016,
I voted for Donald Trump.
Hillary Clinton.
Oh, man. To be the fly on the wall, listen to those conversations.
2020,
Donald Trump.
Biden. And who will you vote for in 2024?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
He fixed her! He fixed her! He did it! That's what you call winning right there. It's come full circle. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It can be done.
You may vote for the former president.
I mean,
Why do you say that?
my views on certain things have changed. I am very much so riding the fence.
Have political differences.
Brilliant. 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 And finally, folks, I want to end this segment on two guys laughing. Now, don't worry. They're living their best lives. But look, see, even Fredo can laugh. Look at this. Best friends forever. Forever. 100 years of Tucker Carlson Cuomo. Maybe Fredo is being authentic here. Maybe I was being too mean.
I hate it because I remember all of them. So I have a really good friend who I talked to this morning. He's just a wonderful man. And his name is Glenn Greenwald. And you can agree or disagree with his views on
He
things.
has also kicked my ass on a regular basis.
Cuomo, hey, Fredo. Everyone's giving you the Mo Green special. From Hardlands Media, Glenn Greenwald, New Dissidents, Indie News Network, RBN. But we love you anyways, Fredo. Just don't ever turn against the family.
No one was ever meaner to me than Glenn Greenwald. No one ever. And he must have written 50 pieces calling me various names, all unpleasant names. And we ended up 6 or 7 years ago meeting and finding that we agreed on some things, not everything, obviously, but some things. And that friendship, and I think it's fair to call it a friendship, has just brought me so much joy. It's so nice to see that someone is like, that you're wrong about your assessment of somebody, and someone's like way better. And I have to say, I've had that experience so much in my life. It's the greatest privilege of this job is to meet people and find that they're nothing like the caricature. Occasionally they're worse, but that
Or you're right about whatever
or
they
you're right.
are.
That's exactly right. That has happened to me, having interviewed thousands of people as you have. But I would say most of the time, I'm like, I like that guy.
I've learned that lesson too, especially starting off as Hardlands Media. And look, here's the thing. I've been doing this since 2017, and I gotta tell you, the more I've done this job, especially interviewing great guests and content creators and people of different political affiliations, there's only been a few handful of interviews where I just didn't like the person, right? And maybe I'll bring that up on a special patron show. I think I will, but I won't drop names because I'm not going to be that mean. Some of them will be funny. One of them had very bad hygiene. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say. And it was just very, very bad. But nonetheless, Cuomo is right. We do got to talk to each other. But I do find it funny as he's talking about the establishment, since Cuomo, pot calling kettle black, you are part of the establishment, but we have to talk to each other. We have to break down these barriers, pop these bubbles, leave these safe spaces, speak to one each other, okay? The world is going to end. The nukes will be a-flying if, things intensify, and it's best to live in a world where we can talk than a world divided. And maybe if we communicate with one another, we can build a better future. And I, for one, embrace that. So Fredo, Cuomo, if you are being authentic, and we shall see, but my audience is saying, no, I don't believe you at all. Fredo, if you are being authentic, fine. Just be consistent. Consistency is key. We have to speak to one another, okay? And that's why I'm glad my audience is made up of so many diverse people, be it libertarians, Greens, socialists, independents, yes, Democrats, yes, who are most likely the trolls of this channel, and even Trump supporters. Yes, yeah, we got a few Trumpers who watch the show, and that's fine by me. Talk to one each other. Life is short. We may not agree with each other, but I think we all can agree on building a better future. And that's how we do it, one step at a time. After all, you got to be embracing, like Mo Green. Hey, how you doing? Get a couple of drinks around. How you doing? How you doing? Let's fight for that better future. Talk to one each other. Fredo, you're doing all right. Just don't turn against the family.